Welcome inside the rec. Final game of the round-robin portion of the Nova Scotia Northern Conference U13 AA playoffs. As the 1-1 Truro Bearcats taking on the 0-2 Antigonish Bulldogs. Thanks for tuning in on High Button Sports as we are underway. Pictou County has just punched their ticket to the final this afternoon with a 4-0 win against the Cumberland Ramblers. As a shot comes through early on, that's stopped by Cameron. Back the other way, McGilvery. So the Ramblers will fall to 1-2 with their loss. Keever able to force a turnover, will cycle it back down low. If Truro wins, the way they were cheering for Pictou County, it makes me think if Pictou County were to win, and now if Truro wins this one, that they'll make it to the finals. If Antigonish wins, that puts a wrench in everybody's plans, and they're 1-2. Antigonish has not played bad by any means. They lost 3-1 with an empty netter against the Ramblers yesterday, as well as 2-1 to Pictou County. So they've been right in everything, and we'll see what they can do here. Here's Dort down the right side. Shot. Glove save is made by Quinn Cameron, the starting goaltender for the Antigonish Bulldogs at the other end, or excuse me, for the Truro Bearcats at the other end. It's number 1, Rennie Van Oorschot, getting the start for the Bulldogs. She was really good in that game against Cumberland County yesterday, a 3-1 loss and an empty netter, as mentioned. Sent ahead too far for McInnes, picked up by McKinnon of the Bulldogs. He'll spin back, send it up the wall. Here's Geddes. Geddes nearly turned over, now it is. Turner will float it down low for Dunlap. In front looking for Donovan. Donovan will spin and fire just wide of the goal. Puck comes out in front. Donovan wants it. Sent towards the goal. Puck still free. They battle for it. McInnes trying to pull it loose. Puck still there. Goes behind the goal. Cameron lost his trapper. He'll pull it back to himself. It's swatted out by Lauren Brooks. Here is McKinnon. Will circle back in his own end. Long pass ahead. Touch into the middle for Turner. We'll circle back and fire it towards the goal. Picked up. Here's Weatherby to the middle. McGilvery in over the red. He'll dump it in deep and give chase alongside Weatherby and Keever. Up the wall. Brown. For the Bulldogs. Brown drives wide. He'll go off the boards and out. Smith will pick it up for Truro. He'll peel back deep into his own end, being watched by McDonald. Around the wall. Around the wall. Here is McGilvery trying to settle it down ahead for Weatherby. Too far for him, and it's kept in by Finbow. Still unable to clear. Here's Brown. In, shot. Deflected wide of the goal. McDonald gives chase, as does Smith of the Bearcats. Smith ahead, Keever. Chop it down deep. Truro gets the rest of their changes in. Hill. Down low, Finbow. First on it. Cleary will punch it up the corner. McDonald to the middle. Taken away by Cohen Merriam, and he'll swing it down low. Cleary gets it behind the net. Will pass it up ahead, but it's picked off by Beasley. Beasley in. Shoot! Saved by Van Oorschot. Rebounds there. Cleared away. So it's chipped out. Back the other way, Lafort. There's a step. Lafort in. Shoot! Save made by Quinn Cameron. His defense will pop behind him to make sure it doesn't go through. 11:14 left here in the first period. We're still scoreless here in Truro. Back to the point, Delory. Touches it off for Dort. She'll peel back and then spin it down low. Battle behind the net. Geddes Send it down the ice. Delory. Pick it up for Antigonish ahead. Lafort to Dort. But offside is the call on the play. Donovan will come in for the draw against McGilvery. Poked into the Truro end. Smith spins back. Chipped in momentarily, but now Dunlap back the other way. Dunlap trying to weave in on McIsaac. McIsaac stays with him. Sent around the goal. Smith off the glass and out. Picked up by McKinnon of Antigonish. He'll peel back, has to watch out. Turned over. In the middle, McGilvery shoots, tried to go short side, just missed. Sent back down low by Keever. Penalty upcoming, it's going to go against Antigonish. Slashing call against Dunlap. And Truro will go to the power play. Now under 10 to play here in the first. Truro off the draw, Manuel. Down low, good stick. It's cleared out. Beasley. Come sit down deep. Antigonish on it, up the wall, Lafort. Try to poke it by, Manuel stays with it. Merriam there to cover. Now it's cleared away. Lafort has some room, Manuel. Gonna try to meet him, shot off the outside of the post. Lafort stays with it. Finally loses it to Manuel. He'll pass it ahead. Beasley. Flipped it ahead. Hill, that hit his skate. And she'll clear it out to center. Back the other way, Beasley. Trying to work in. Good stick from Delory. Delory will fire it down the ice. It's now a minute gone in the penalty. Cameron will punch that out for Gill. Turned over. Right on the stick of Brown. In. Shot save made by Cameron. That shot got Geddes high. Brown back to the point. Shot from well out. Goes wide. Delory. Fires it back down low. Back the other way, McInnes. Trying to go rink wide. Butcher. Fire it deep. Only 30 seconds left in the penalty. Delory up the wall. Parker able to keep it in. Keever lost it in his skates. Cleared out to center by Antigonish. Give McGilvery back the other way. Fires it. That's deflected up and into the mesh with 7 seconds left in the penalty. 8 minutes even left in the period. Parker passed it over for Brooks. Dort's there. Up ahead. Dunlap right off the bench, or out of the box, excuse me. Pass ahead. Keever into the middle. Stayed with it, but it's turned over. Back the other way, Dort. Shovels it in deep. She'll head off for a change. Trying to pass it through the middle, comes free. Here's Keever. Dropping his shoulder, he's going to stay with it. Good work from Emmett Keever. He'll just rim it around the wall. Head off to the bench. Beasley, fresh off the bench, will come to meet the Bulldog, trying to get it out. Now the Bulldogs do get it out. It's Dort. Driving wide. Chipped it down deep. Lafort will swing it all the way back to the point, but it was stopped up by Beasley. Now Beasley will chip it ahead and give chase. Finbow. Ahead, Dort. Tried to touch it to the middle, fanned on. Bearcats will have to tag up. Cleary. Ahead for Lafort. Lafort fanned on his dump-in attempt. Offside is the play. Off the draw, Gill battles. Pulls it free to McInnes. Try to pass it to the middle. Geddes lost it. Comes back out to center. Turner will weave his way in. Turner drops his shoulder. Sends it back, but it went through everybody. Delory. Pick it up ahead. Nice pass through the middle. It's tipped away. Sent back in by Truro for the moment. Back the other way. Nice play by Butcher. Butcher's in. Couldn't get the shot all the way through. Geddes. Back to Gill at the point. Gill, D-to-D pass, Manuel. Up top, that shot's blocked. Wilmot trying to send it ahead. Bodies all over the place. Here's Donovan. Pass out. Brooks will find it. Go up the wall. Bearcats are almost away. Picked up by Armstrong. Hands it off McKinnon. Backhand up the boards. Turner. Just go off the glass and out. Brooks will take it all the way behind her net. Reverse it back up the left side. Keever. Try to poke it ahead. Armstrong had pinched up. Sent ahead. Gilvery. Through the middle. Weatherby will give chase. Weatherby in front. Deflected by McGilvery. Comes out. Parker from the point. Stop made by Van Oorschot. Weatherby trying to go behind the net to McKinnon. Turn back over. McGilvery. Cycle back down low. Sent back up the wall though by Armstrong. McGilvery fires it back down deep. Down low, Keever. Dials up the boards, gets it. Pass in front. Oh, McGilvery was there, but a good stick from Lafort. Kept in by Truro. Back the other way, right off the bench, Merriam. Couldn't get by Armstrong. Isaac. It's passed through the middle, hopped on McDonald. Smith will take a look. Try to flip it up the wall, but McDonald there to meet him. Fired in deep by the Bearcats, and they'll give chase. Just over 3 minutes left here in this first period. Turned over Hill. Tried to pass it to the middle. Good play by McIsaac, and he'll tap it ahead to Lafort. Lafort. Down the wing. Shot blocked. Dort will send it down low. Pass out. Cleary at the point. Will fire it from well out. Deflected wide and poked aside by Cameron. Back to the point. Cleary. Down to Lafort. Back to Cleary. To the middle. Fired by McIsaac. Save made. Rebounds there for Dort. Fired back down low. Smith. Picks it up for Truro. Dort there to challenge. So it's just fired off the glass and out. Pass, Turner. Able to get it ahead, but it's fired back Into the zone by Gill. Turner there. The Fort. Back to Cleary. Just try to move it forward. Fort to Dort. Give chase. Manuel will poke it ahead. Under 2 to play in the first. Manuel. Trying to drive wide. Now McInnes behind the goal. Trying to poke it out. Puck still there. Geddes. Trying to wrap it around. Comes out in front. Butcher shoots. Saved by Van Oorschot. Good toe save made. Dort fires it to the line, but not out. That's sent in on goal. Van Oorschot will cover up. A minute and a half to go here in the first. Off the draw, Kiever fires it. Saved by Van Oorschot. Rebounds there. Jammed wide. Sent ahead. Just came out. It's close. Faceoff will come just in front of the Antigonish bench here with 1:16 left to go in the first period. ED pass. Wilmot gains the red line. Will dump it in. Parker first on it for Truro. Will peel back, but has to watch out. Donovan. Back to the line. Wilmot fires one through traffic. Deflected, and Cameron gets it with a glove. Good deflection by Turner. Caught Cameron going the other way, but he was able to stick the glove out and make the stop. Under a minute to go here in the first. Chipped up ahead. Now here come the Bearcats. Beasley. He's just going to try to barrel through Delory, but Delory stays with him. It's turned back over. Here comes Truro with numbers. Hill. Beasley there. Shot off the post. Back to the point. McIsaac. Flip it back down to Hill. Just fire up behind the net. Wilmot chips it ahead. Stays to support. We'll flip it up ahead. Here's Brown. Brown weaves in. Shot. That was blocked off the backside of McIsaac. Beasley will thread it ahead. Passes it out. Hill will give chase. So try to fire it in. Deep second chance effort. It's cleared in by Merriam. 5 seconds left. Brown will have to shoot it. He won't have enough time in the first period. Come to an end. Late surge by Truro has them up 8-6 in the shot department. But the score on the board is still Goose Eggs. We'll be back momentarily for the start of the second. Back for the second period, still looking for the game's first goal. Manuel in his own end. He'll circle back behind his net, pass it ahead, tipped ahead by Geddes. Armstrong will have to give chase. Back out in front. Dort trying to clear. McInnes. As they battle in front. Just gets out. Turned over. McIsaac was there. Up to Keever. Left it there for Weatherby. Keever will send it back ahead for Weatherby. Here is Weatherby has McGilvery going on that. Passes it over. Good stick. I think that was Armstrong. It's flipped, and that goes into the Antigonish bench. Here's Brown. Cuts in over the line, fires one, punched aside by Cameron. Weatherby trying to get it to the middle. Cleared down the ice. Cleary will reverse it back behind the net. Finbow will give chase, as does Keever of Truro. Cleary. Trying to go up the wall. McGilvery there to meet her. Back up the wall. Here comes Antigonish. This is Carr. Brooks up the wall. Beasley will give chase there, but met by Turner. Turner down low will stop up. Trying to get it to the slot. That was picked off. Back the other way. Brooks up the wall. To the line. Wilmot will wind and fire. That's steered into the corner. Dunlap. It's out to the point. Delory fires one from well out. Save made by Cameron. Cleared away. Here's Beasley. We'll just poke it ahead. Hill will give chase. As does Merriam. Merriam trying to center it. Teammates run a change. Dunlap back the other way. Pass to the middle for Wilmot. And Wilmot shoots. Just missed. Now Geddes back the other way. Has some room to skate. Sam Geddes in to the middle. Wait, shoot. Saved by Van Oorschot. Another chance. Doesn't make its way on goal. Here's Wilmot. Here's Wilmot. We'll fire it. He'll fire it. Blocked down by Smith. Dunlap will fire it the rest of the way. Up the boards. Butcher will give chase. Chipped back up by Geddes. But ahead for McIsaac of the Bulldogs. He'll try to fire one towards the net. That was blocked by McIsaac. He'll send it behind the goal. Up ahead, McInnes. Geddes. Ahead, tipped. Bearcats will give chase as they finish up changes. Up ahead, here's Dort. Well, send it ahead, and that's going to be an icing call against Antigonish. 10.5 left here in period number 2. Still awaiting the game's first goal. The draw picked up by Cleary, but she lost it to McGilvery as they battle in front of the Zamboni doors. Picked up. Here's McDonald. Looking ahead. Fire it in deep. Manuel first on it. Carr will challenge him. Sent up the wall. Keever. Couldn't find it. Here's Brown will fire it. That's blocked by McGilvery, and he'll get it out to the neutral zone. Finbow. Head Brown will spin and fire it back in. Pass ahead. Through the middle looking for Merriam. Now here's Keever. Pass it ahead for Merriam. Over Weatherby. It's one towards the goal. That missed the net. Beasley off the bench will knife it ahead. Beasley trying to pass it up. It's picked up. Here's Wilmot. And over the line, he's met by Beasley. Wilmot's still with it. He'll stop up, try to fire one towards the net. Puck's there. Dunlap shoots off the outside of the net. Dunlap out front. Puck's still there. Cleared away by Truro. Wilmot pass it off for Delory. Good pass ahead. This is Turner. So cut down that far side behind the net. Angled off. Penalty upcoming. It's going to be a hooking call, I believe, against Truro. It's going to go against Oliver Parker. And Antigonish will get their first power play of the game. Fort will come in to take the draw against Geddes. Behind the net. Dort. Trying to pass to McIsaac. That was picked off momentarily. McIsaac will stay with it. Fire it down low for Lafort. Lafort. Back to McKinnon at the point. Passes it to Armstrong. To Lafort. He wants it. That shot blocked by Geddes. McIsaac behind the net. Back to the point. Armstrong. Back to McIsaac and back for Armstrong. Good puck movement here on the power play for Antigonish. Dort. Back to the point for McKinnon. Cross ice. McIsaac waited. But he lost it. Butcher gets it to the blue line. They just get it out. Minute left in the penalty to Parker. Pass to the middle. Here's McIsaac. Shoveled back to McKinnon at the point. McKinnon will fire one. That's blocked by McKinnon. Usually it's not even a goal that'll get the biggest reaction. It's a blocked shot. Delory, his shot. That goes wide of the net. Beasley will spin, and he'll fire it, but that hit the stanchion and stays in. Lafort to the middle. Curls back. 16 seconds left in the power play. Shot from Delory through traffic. Blocked once again. Rebound. Cleared away. Fired to the line, but not out. Wilmot. Trying to weave his way in. We'll circle back. Penalty over. Back to 5-a-side. Wilmot. Poked away. It's cleared away by Truro. It's going to be an icing, but they're able to kill off the penalty. 6.5 to go here in the second. Still a 0-0 game. Ford in to take the draw. Will win it back, and it's kept in by the Bulldogs. Brown will try to spin and fire. Keever stopped him up enough. He didn't get much on it. It goes wide. Gill. Head Weatherby. Head for Keever. Keever drives wide. Still has it. Emmett Keever takes a look. Tried to center it. Good. Sent behind the net by McGilvery. Finbow first on it. It's being chased by Kiever. So that'll go down the ice. It'll be an icing against Antigonish. Under 6 minutes to go here in the second. Face off, won by Antigonish, snap back by Donovan. McKinnon behind the net, Armstrong ahead to Dunlap. Far side for Turner. Parker will send it ahead, kept in by Antigonish, second chance. They get it out, Beasley, but a good step by Armstrong, and he'll take it in himself and get it back down deep. And that Brooks reverse it. Dunlap there. So back to the point, Armstrong fires one towards the goal. That was deflected wide by Dunlap. Armstrong and off the line again, down low for Dunlap. Return pass for Armstrong. Pass it to Donovan. She'll fire it down into the corner. Brooks will be first on it. Ahead to the line, but not out. Armstrong, another point shot. Save made by Cameron. Pass to the middle. Beasley will chase. He'll fire it in deep. McKinnon has it. Sent in by Butcher. Hill. Comes out to center. Pass ahead, tipped by Geddes. Hill will fire it the rest of the way as he goes off on a change. Chopped to the line, kept in by McIsaac. His shot blocked by Donovan. Ira Donovan back the other way. Just fire one towards the net. Save made by Cameron. And he'll play it off for McIsaac. Comes out to the neutral zone. Fired back in by Delory. This time Cameron will cover up and take no chances. 4 minutes even left here in the second. Still scoreless here at the Rec. Fort will come in to take the draw against McGilvery. Bulldogs win it. Fired towards the goal by Dort, just missed. Manuel stops up. Fired up ahead for Emmett Kiever. He'll just take it out himself and get it up to center. Dort. It's there. That goes up in the air. Kiever will flip it ahead. Delory. Around the wall for McIsaac. Turned over. Fired back in deep by Truro. Up ahead, Manuel will pinch up. Weatherby from the line. Shot kicked aside by Van Oorschot. McIsaac. Tipped. Everybody goes flying. Here's Weatherby and shot. Save made. Rebound was there. Weatherby had his stick lifted. Back to the point. Gill. Fire it back down low. Brooks fires it up the wall. Kiever will dump it back in deep, and this line will get a change. 2.5 left to go here in the second. Delory. Up the wall, kept in by Hill. Knocked away. Now back the other way comes Antigonish. It's Lafort. Has a step. Lafort. Good play by Cohen Merriam to break that up. We'll pass it ahead for Hill. Hill to the middle for Beasley. Had to watch out. Carr was streaking in. Now Brown will pick it up for Antigonish. Back to Cleary. Head. That'll be an icing call against Antigonish with 2:05 to go. Shots all even at 11. Still scoreless. Every aspect of this game dead even right now. Face-off will come to the right of Van Oorschot. Geddes in to take the draw for the Bearcats. Lost it to Brown. He has the puck now. Send it to the line, but not out. Brown back to Cleary. Does he get it back to Brown? His team's just trying to find it right now. Cleary, room it all the way around. Finbow. Head for Carr. Leave it there, but it's turned over. Here's Butcher. Will drive wide. Butcher fires one towards the goal. Save made by Van Oorschot. Brown. Head to McDonald. Donald. Take it ahead. Had to be careful. Being watched closely by McInnes. Sent back ahead. Here's Butcher. Will fire one in on goal from well out. Gloved by Van Oorschot. She'll calmly throw it out for Finbow. Long pass ahead for Brown. He touched it. So no icing. He'll give chase, but so does Owen Weatherby, and he'll box him out. So we come to the last minute to play in the second period. Weatherby. Still with it. Weatherby. Down line centering pass for Keever. Couldn't get a stick on it. Cleared away. Offside is called. 45 seconds to go here in the second. Anaganesh gets possession off the draw. Fired back in by Gill. Armstrong will be the first on it. He'll reverse it behind the net for McKinnon. Up ahead, good touch pass. Keever's there, he'll swat it back in. It's tipped away, here's McGilvery. In, shot, is blocked. Up ahead, Turner. Touch to the middle, picked up by Merriam, and he'll float it down low as he gives chase to McKinnon. Last 10 seconds now of the period. Armstrong will stop up. He'll fire it up the wall. That should pretty much do it. One more chance if they hurry is deflected by McKinnon as the period comes to a close. Shots 13-11 Truro, but we are still awaiting the game's first goal. Will it come? In the third period, we'll find out. Be back here in about 10-15 minutes for the final period of play. Score after 2 periods, Truro Bearcats and Anaganesh Bulldogs are scoreless. Back for the third period here at the Rec, scoreless. After 2 periods of play, we're underway. Delory up ahead, turned over. Weatherby will flip it ahead. Keever has a step. Here's Emmett Keever. Keever has it. Step into the middle, weaves around his own guy. Penalty upcoming. Then in front, and whistle goes. Penalty upcoming. Interference call coming. I think it's going to go against McIsaac. They got the wrong guy. So they came over initially and got Wilmot, and he was wondering what he did, but it was McIsaac. Truro will go to the power play here. Shots 13-11 in favor of the Bearcats. Comes out to the blue line. Bulldogs get it out to center. Parker fanned on the pass. Back the other way, Lafort. Nice move, but he's stripped of the puck by Merriam. Send it ahead. Wilmot will fire it back down deep. Parker lost it again. Now they'll retreat back deep in their own end. Dort in hard on the forecheck, just trying to pin it to waste some time. There's Smith. Pass through the middle. Hill. Drive wide, stays with it. Declan Hill drops it off to Beasley. He'll rim it around the wall. Delory first on it. Up the boards. Parker will keep it in. Passes it. Merriam. Back to Parker. Down low. Hill. Try to take it to the middle. Puck's there. Hill waits. In front to the backhand. Shoots and scores! Beasley! On the power play, and Truro takes the lead. Good passing from the Bearcats. And it's finished off by Max Beasley. Hill waited. He had a lot of time. He could have shot that if he wanted to, but instead put it back door for Beasley, who made a quick move to the backhand to beat Van Or's shot. And it's a power play goal, and Truro finally breaks the ice. A minute and a half into the third period. Turner back the other way, but a penalty now coming against Truro. And Anna Ganesh will go to the power play. It's going to be a tripping call. Against McInnes. Face-off will come to the right of Cameron. Donovan in the lineup against Geddes and wins it. Turner back to Armstrong, fires it from the point, blocked by Geddes, and fired down the ice. Turner. He's bumped hard, and another penalty coming to Truro. It's going to be a long 5-on-3 for Anna Ganesh. $12:51 left in the period, and a golden chance to tie this game up. Gilvery will come in for the draw against Lafort. Parker. Spin around, gets caught in some wet ice. His clearing attempt was blocked on the second chance. Smith will fire it down. Wilmot. Long pass, Dort. Been knocked away from her, but Wilmot follows it up. To the middle, lost it. Lafort, pass to McIsaac. Fires one, that's gloved out of the air by Cameron. 56 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Beasley will come onto the ice. And they're going to pull the goalie here. I wonder if this is a case of needing goals to move on, because they're going to pull the goalie here in a 1-0 game with 12 minutes left, and they score! It works out! It's McIsaac on the doorstep. And it's a power play goal here for Antigonish. They tie it up. That's the only reason I can think of why they pull the goalie there. If it comes down to goal differential, then they need that goal. But what a play to pull your goalie with the 12 minutes left. And you score right off the ensuing faceoff. They're still on the power play. Weatherby. Working in, DeLorean will pick it up. And Weatherby go hard into the boards. Still a power play for Antigonish. Dunlap. Being watched by Brooks. Oh, turned over. Weatherby will fire it down the ice. 47 seconds left in the penalty. Long pass ahead is deflected by Dunlap. Fired back out. Wilmot up the wall. McGilvery. Brooks trying to get out. Second chance it comes out. Keever will work it ahead and give chase. Delory goes D-to-D for Wilmot. Ahead for Turner. Weaves to the outside. Dunlap. Knocked off strike. Keever will poke it past. He'll just fire it down the ice with 10 seconds left in the penalty. Pass ahead for Donovan. We're back to 5 aside. Get us right out of the box and into the play. Donovan to Dunlap. And over the line, fired wide. Now McIsaac will try to send it ahead. Hill pokes it. Rimmed around the wall. McDonald will be first on it. Tried to go back to the point, didn't get a lot on it. Picked up by Beasley, the Truro goal scorer. Over to Hill. Hill. In, fires it towards the net. Save made. Rebounds there. That's deflected wide. McKinnon ahead. Picked off by Beasley. He'll fire it back down low. Armstrong. Stops up. Out to Carr. Carr trying to put it through the middle. It's picked off. Here's Beasley. He'll try to return the favor to Hill. They score! Beasley again. It rode up the stick of Van Oorschot and just went right through her. It looked like it was more or less supposed to be a pass to Hill. But it just kind of rode up the stick and then just went right through the 5-hole. Truro takes the lead back with under 10 to play here in the third. Ed McIsaac. Lafort knocked off stride, and it's chipped back ahead by Truro. McInnes will give chase. Finbow wins the race there, and we'll pass it off for Cleary. Stepped ahead, Dort will flip it up and in deep as the Bulldogs give chase. Behind the net, Parker. McInnes. Kept to the outside by Cleary. Here's Geddes. Fire it in deep. Go off on a change. Keever, the lone forechecker, is Cleary first on it. She'll fire it up ahead. McGilvery there to meet it off. To head. Turned over. Keever Flipped ahead. Here's McGilvery down the wall. Stops up, battling with his counterpart, number 18. Pulled free, Keever. Back to the point. McIsaac down low. McGilvery hopped on him, and Finbow will pick it up and rim it all the way around. Smith holding him momentarily. Dort's there to battle. Cleary will give it to McIsaac. Try to work in, nearly turned over. Keever there. Fort over Cleary. Head Dort. Flip it ahead. Smith trying to stay with it. Turner's there. Here's Weatherby. Up ahead. Hit by Keever. Delory will fire it back in. Pass to the middle. Here is Merriam. Will drive wide. Peel back. Fires it through the middle. Was looking for Hill. Just over skated. But Beasley down low. Hill looking in front. Puck's cleared away. Wilmot ahead for Dunlap. Merriam. Hockey's her position. Wilmot's in. Wilmot drives wide. Stays with it. Shoot. Save made by Cameron. And goes up and out of play. 7:18 to go here in this game. Bearcats with a 2-1 lead off of 2 goals from Max Beasley. Faceoff will come down to the left of Cameron off that shoulder stop. Isaac ahead to McInnes. Touches it through the middle for Geddes. Fire that wide of the goal. Butcher will rim it. It's sent up the boards by Anaganesh. Gill will keep it in momentarily. Geddes finds it. Try to cut to the middle. Flips it down. Wilmot. Head for McDonald. Donald. And that shot's blocked by Butcher. And sent down the ice. Should be an icing call and will be against Truro with 6:38 left in this game. Finals will be broadcast on highbuttonsports.ca and the High Button Sports YouTube channel at 4 p.m. this afternoon. We know Pictou will be one of the teams in there. And we're thinking that Truro will get in if they win this game, as they'd have victories over both Antigonish and Cumberland County. Yeah, Truro definitely would make it in, because then they'd be the only 2-1 team. As Amherst now 1-2. Antigonish would move to 0-3. But if Antigonish wins this game, it would come down to goal differential with Truro, I believe. Or possibly head-to-head. If Truro with a win, they will play Pictou County in the final. So it's sent out. Here's Keever trying to cut to the middle. Lost it in his feet. Down low, here's Hill. Ups up, it's cleared. Parker just able to hold it in. Hill. To the middle, fires it down low, deflected by Merriam. Merriam has the puck now. Nice move. He tries to shake McKinnon, tried to send it back to the middle. Puck's there, Van Oor shot. Will cover up. Just over 5 minutes to go. Merriam will take the draw against Donovan. Kept in by Beasley. Hill to the middle. Trying to find it down low. Puck comes out. Beasley. Now Hill. Centering pass looking for Beasley. Cleared aside. Back up top, McIsaac. Thread it back down low. Sent to the middle, but turned over. Back the other way, here's Turner. Under 5 to play in this game. Turner, the middle for Dunlap. He's met by Beasley. Sent ahead, chipped off the wall, cleared out by Truro. Delory. Smith to Hill. Here's Merriam. Pass it off. Beasley will just fire it up ahead. That's going to die before icing can be called. Bearcats get their full change in. Wilmot ahead. Butcher will deflect that. As Dunlap gives chase. 4 minutes to go. Ahead, McInnes up the wall. Carr, keep it in. That's saved by Cameron. .351 to go in this game. Bearcats trying to punch their ticket to the finals against Pictou. Lost to them 5-3 yesterday. To the line, kept in. Geddes. Fire it out. Sent back in by Antigonish. Manuel to McInnes. McInnes will fire it deep. McInnes. Centering pass looking for Geddes. Kept in by Truro on the second chance they get it out. Butcher will fire it back ahead. That caught a piece of the bench. 3 minutes left here in this game. Sent in by the Bulldogs. Brooks. Head for Keever. He gains the red line and will dump it in deep. Turned over. Weatherby will spin and try to send one towards the net. That just went wide. Bobbles back in front. Puck still there. Keever. Trying to go back. Turnover. McIsaac. He's going to rush it ahead. Turned around. Goalie now to the bench for the extra attacker. They're going to pull early here. Up ahead, Keever. Chip it to the line. Couldn't clear. Extra person on for Antigonish. Up the wall, Keever. Will fire it out. But icing will be called. With 2:09 to go here in this game. They're going to pull the goalie early here because I think without a doubt for Antigonish to get in, they'd have to win in regulation, obviously. The tie wouldn't be good enough. So if they win in regulation, there's 3 teams that are 1 and 2. It's pinned against the wall. Truro going to do a good job just to cover it and kill some clock off. It's pulled free by the Bulldogs, though. Comes to the line. Wilmot. Shot. Wide of the goal. Picked up by Antigonish. Into the middle. Dunlap couldn't get the shot through. And Merriam's just going to pin it against the wall. Comes free. Fired up the wall. Wilmot will keep it in, but it's knocked off his stick. And chipped out by Truro. Good work by the Bearcats. 1.5 minutes to go. Chipped back out. Delory. Fired towards the empty net, but that's blocked by Wilmot at center. Long pass ahead. Beasley will fire towards the empty net. It was blocked. Now back the other way. Shot goes wide from Merriam. Hill's just going to play around with it, but he lost an edge. Back the other way. Gill drops a tire. Delory sends it in on goal. Cameron is going to cover up here with 53.8 seconds left. Timeout will be called here by Antigonish. We'll be back in 1 moment. Back, 53.8 seconds left to go. Antigonish with the goalie pulled. From what it looks like with the standings, Antigonish would have to win this game in regulation. You have a chance to move on. Truro would still finish with the best record of the 3 teams remaining at 1-1-1. Here's Wilmot. He'll fire it down low. Smith just going to try to pin it to the wall. Comes out. Bearcats, some great work. Everybody's going to sprawl on it. And the puck still frozen. We'll finally get a whistle. .2 left. Parker goes to the bench quickly for some quick instructions from the coach. Draw here, Donovan will take it against Geddes. Around the wall, Smith will fire it off the glass, couldn't clear. Butcher will give chase, and it's sent ahead. Geddes will fire it down the ice. He was at the red line. That'll do it. Penalty upcoming. It's going to go against Antigonish. Man, Orshot will be forced to come back in. One final face-off. The Truro Bearcats have a date with Pictou County in the Northern Conference Final. And you can see what it means to them. They finished in 4th out of these 4 teams in the regular season. And here on home ice, they'll play in the final later this afternoon against a very tough Pictou County team. A heck of a fight by Antigonish. You look at their games, they lost 3-1 with an empty netter. They lost 2-1, and they lost 2-1. A heck of a fight, and a lot better than an 0-3 team here in this tournament. Final shots were 16-16. That'll do it for our broadcast here. Catch us back 4 p.m. for the final. Truro versus Pictou in the final. Thanks for tuning in on High Button Sports. Final score here from the rec.